I did tapes. That's how I kind of back in the day, you would listen to like Caribbean late at night.
Yeah, Caribbean. Yeah,
Caribbean, and that's where you listen to all the DJs.
Yeah.
So I would go to like the Dollar Tree, and they had the 3 cassettes for like $1. And so they're blank CDs, and I would just record like whatever good song I like. Boom, I just put the record, and you would have it, for later on.
That feeling. Let's get started because this is all the concept of the podcast. Welcome back to Launching Us. This is a podcast where we talk about us becoming small business owners and the journey it takes to get there. This week we have a really cool guest, Mark.
All right.
Island DJ. How do you?
It's a DJ Stanman.
DJ Stanman.
Island Live DJ.
Why Stanman?
Okay. When I was in high school, me and like 3 friends started writing out music. So we pretty much composed whatever like cool song was on the radio at the time, and we just went under the pen name DJ Stan. Oh, not DJ Stanman, but just Stanman at the time, because we didn't want our music to be played on the field. We wanted to be played in the stands. So we didn't want people to be like, "Hey man, this is a new song. Play, write it out for us. Do this." Yeah. So we were like, "Oh, we'll just say we ordered all this music from a company, and we know them, so they just go through us, and we bring it to school, and we pass it out there." But eventually, like our band director was like something would be wrong with it. They'd be like, "Hey, what's this?" And then we're like, oh, well, you're supposed to go back to measure 3 right there and stuff like that. So, but eventually, it got popped off, and they figured out how we were, Stanman, and just kind of kept with it. And so when I started DJing, I graduated in 2008 from Ball High. By 2009, 2010, I started DJing.
Wow.
And so I just started DJing and kept the name because, my other 2 friends, one, I think he became like a pilot. The other one does like switch. No, for sure. Like these, I'm glad these are like my good friends at the time because they were very, you could have bad friends and you have good friends. These were my good friends, so I like to keep them close. And like I said, one became a pilot, I believe, and then one is like doing like architecture and like somewhere in like Australia or something like that.
That's awesome.
So they're doing the thing, and so they have nothing to do with music. So I was able to keep the Stanman thing, and I just kind of kept it alive from there.
Keeping the friendship alive.
Yeah. So
I met Mark in May. Was it May? I'm trying to think when that wedding was.
Yeah, I think it was hot.
It was definitely. Yeah, it was hot. It wasn't as hot as now in July, but it was.
I forget
how
hot July is here.
It reminds you. It definitely reminds you real quick.
And we started talking. Find out he's friends with my sister. They went to school together. They used to dance on the Cinco de Mayo stuff.
Yeah, I have pictures with her. So
that's so funny. And we just started talking and stay connected through Instagram and stuff like that. So he wanted to come out, and I'm all about supporting local businesses, supporting people that are putting that grind. And that DJing is one of those type of jobs that I see as somebody who is grinding, yes. Because it's at night. It's when everyone else is like trying to chill, hang out. Yeah. Right? Everyone else is going to the club or going somewhere to have fun. You're there working.
Yes.
And to me, that's such a respectful job. Mm-hmm. I always think I messed that word up, but whatever. We'll fix it in post maybe. But it's such a respectful job, respectable. Well, I love what it. I just wanted her to say. That's why she's here, man. That's exactly what she's got. Just to fix my words. No, but I find it such like a honorable. I'm just gonna switch it. A very honorable job, to do that. So Mark, one of the things that I love asking people is, what got you into wanting to be a small business owner? Like what life accidents or life transitions or whatever happened in your life to lead you hey, I want to be a small business owner, or did you always want to be a small business owner?
I think I just kind of always had it in me. I think I remember when I was a kid, Mardi Gras, we would get all the beats from Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
And I stayed on Q, which is pretty much one of the busiest streets in Galveston.
Yes.
And so when I was
for not being a one-way,
yeah, no, definitely. And so I would get my bags of beads and sit not on the road, but I had this poster and I wrote like beats for sale. You know, I'm telling you, this was probably in the middle of like July, August. Like it had to be the summer because I was home by myself. And so I stood on the corner and was like, beats for sale, yo. And this lady pulled up and she bought like my beads. And I can't remember who was home. Somebody just was home. And they're like, Mark, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm just selling my beads. And they're like, get inside there. I was like, but I think you know them. Like, it's okay. And so I just kind of always had it in me to where, like, you know, you just had to go make some kind of money. Yeah. You know what I mean? And
you were selling what you had.
Yeah, no,
that's awesome.
And
Mardi Gras is huge in Galveston. So
huge.
like even during the winter, during the summer, I know that they have them at the thrift stores and people buy them. So that was a genius idea.
No, for sure. And I don't know what got into me that day, but I that's what I did. And I grew up. One of my cousins, he's from Mexico. He crossed over. And he started he owned a tattoo shop in Mexico.
Wow.
So he crossed over and came to America to try to open up a tattoo shop over here. And he was living with, like, I think my godmother at the time. And she's kind of, older. Mm. And so my mom took me to go meet him because I've never met him before. Mm. And so I met him, and he doesn't speak a lick of English. So all Spanish. And I speak Spanish, you know what I mean? So... we got along, got cool, and I got to. He pretty much needed to go get all of his equipment all over again because he couldn't bring anything over.
Yeah.
So we had to go to all the flea markets. We had to go everywhere we could think of because this is probably like 2009. So stuff wasn't accessible as it is now. It's not. You can't just get on Amazon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we had to really go out there and look.
Yeah.
So. He ends up finding a spot, ends up doing tattoos here. I'd have to like be with him in the sessions to kind of translate. And this is all he did. This is literally all that's all he did. All he did was tattoo all day. Wow. And so I was like, man, this guy don't have to do nothing. Not that he don't have to do anything, but he gets to pick how he lives his life. And I was like, I want to do that.
That's awesome.
And as so happened at the time, I just learned about DJing, and I think my mom bought me my first like mixer board. I think it was from like Guitar Center or something.
Fisher Price.
Yeah, this was for sure like at least it probably was like $150, bro. Okay. It wasn't nothing crazy, and I was able to start practicing in my room. And from there, I would just, I had like this I had this nice radio, and I was able to hook up my aux cord into my laptop so I can DJ from my laptop to my radio and use it as like a sound, as speakers.
That's cool.
And I would just put that in my back of my car and like drive to parties. And like just tell people like, hey man, can I DJ your party? Like it'd be like an underground party, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be having these parties because at the time this is like Ike. So all these houses are gutted out. Yeah, all these houses are gutted out. So it's nothing but gutted out houses, nothing but kids. We're all in college. They had electricity. I'd just plug up our speakers. I'd be able to DJ right there, and that's kind of how it started off. And then. The Lounge was a club that was popping off at that time. And I just so happened to know one of the promoters. And he just got me in on a Thursday. And from there, it kind of just started building and
took off.
And that's how it started.
Dang.
Wow.
So being a small business owner, especially in the DJ / club, wedding world, What's been some of your biggest challenges that you face that you like, hey, I remember this moment or I remember this?
Man, there's been several times where you're doing like a gig and you're so used to this gig. You're like, these are my Thursday spots, these are my Saturday spots, these are my Sunday spots. And the thing about, DJing is like a lot of it's like under the table money. You know what I mean? Other than the weddings and the corporate gigs and stuff like that I'm getting now.
Yeah.
But back then, a lot of it was under the table money. So I would, a gig could call me that day and be like, hey, bro, we don't need you no more. Like,
oh, yeah.
So now it's better to not put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
To kind of spread yourself out and to know that this can happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So always be prepared for it. And if you can schedule your way through it, then you're better off. Yeah. And that's just kind of what I learned. And then, for sure investing into myself. Once I got over that hump, investing, because a lot of the stuff I would like just borrow or rent out and stuff like that. But once I was like, you know what, like I'm going to sacrifice whatever I have to get this speaker or to get this. And then little by little, like, man, my stuff just started growing. And, once your presentation grows and you look nice and people are like, oh man, I want that. I want that to be my wedding. Or I want that for my quinceañera. Like, and that's what you do. You just try to make it a more presentable, more, eye pleasing. Especially right now, everything's on like Instagram. Everything has to be a picture. Yeah. So you kind of you have to go for that kind of crowd. You have to make it, appealing for whoever's going to rent you. And not only those people, but the people that are going to be at the party. Yeah. Because you're for sure going to get at least 2 or 3 follow-ups. Follow-ups or anything.
It's funny you bring that up, like the idea of like it has to be presentable and it has to be picture-worthy, especially in this world we live in. I was just watching a documentary on YouTube. I forget who made it, but it was talking about Rob Dyrdek. I don't know if anyone remember Rob Dyrdek, Fantasy Factory,
he's so great.
Robin Big, all the stuff he does. This dude is on track in the next 5 years to become one of the first billionaires as a skateboarder billionaire. Like he is on track. He's made huge investments. He has made stuff. He has his show Ridiculous.
Yeah, that's
being basically the only thing that MTV shows. Yeah. For like a week straight, they will show nonstop episodes with maybe breaks here and there of Ridiculous. And they beg him every season whenever the contract. But he said because he needed a gimmick, he needed something new because there's so many like skateboarders out there at that time, especially in that time period that were like popping. And he couldn't keep up.
Yeah, Tony Hawk was popping.
I mean, there was a lot more. I mean, Tony Hawk's been around since the 70s. Yeah. But he's been like, especially in that early 2000s, like there were so many skateboarders that were making it big. You had Paul Rodriguez's son. Yeah. He was killing it, and he was getting like shoe deals. Eric Costin was another great skateboarder who was killing it. Tony Hawk made the movie, the video game, and that put a lot of other people on the spot. Yeah. And he wasn't in there.
You sure wasn't.
And so he started pushing this image that he was more wealthy than he really was. He started renting out things. That's where he got Robin Big. He rented out a security guy and said, I just need you around, make me look tougher.
Okay, all right.
And he would spend almost all his money to get this persona who he wanted.
Yeah, for sure.
And now he's, one of the most, one of the most richest skateboarders to ever live right now. Yeah. And sometimes you have to kind of not fake it, but you have to invest in yourself. Like the way you said, you have to invest in yourself to where you want to be. Yeah. And that's exactly what he did. And I just thought that, that has nothing to do with what we're talking about right now, but I just love that story of Rob Dyrdek. So if Rob Dyrdek, you ever watch this, hey, hit us up, man. I would love to have you on the podcast. And so I just found that. So what are some things you did to invest in yourself? Like, what are some things that you started doing?
Well, of course, you want to invest in like your speakers and stuff like that. But I really started picking up momentum when I started like kind of just worrying about myself and worried about my health, worrying about like making right decisions, doing stuff like that. Because again, you're DJing at night. You're doing probably the worst things you can to your body. You know what I mean? And I'm doing this probably 5 nights a week. Yeah. Wow. So,
night shifts are hard.
Yeah, no, they are. And you get used to them. Yeah. So then you're not waking up till 2 p.m., 12 o'clock, whatever. And so you eat, you're eating late. Yeah. You're eating probably 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning or 2. You're picking up a Whataburger on your way home.
I was thinking that.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah. And so I try to kind of cut out all that. Yeah. I did I think it's 75 hard. I did the 75 hard challenge at the beginning of the year. Wow. And awesome. Look, I'm not going to say I fully did the whole 75, but I got pretty close to about 73, 74. There'd be days where you kind of just like, you don't or like you didn't finish the water or you didn't do something. And but yeah, that really kind of focused my my mind. And once you start picking up momentum, it's just something in the world that just kind of just picks you up and takes you and gets you, different places that you would never thought.
Yeah.
Coming from Galveston, I recently moved to Houston, probably about a year ago. Okay. So I was able to do pretty much everything I wanted to do within this first year. From moving out of Galveston.
Yeah.
So I got to DJ like Little Woodrow's, good, like nice places in Houston.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even, at one point, man, I couldn't even get a gig at Yaga's, which is right here, So it's just like, man, manifesting stuff really helped out a lot too.
Yeah.
Manifestation is probably like the biggest thing I can attest to, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
When 2020, when the whole
world shut
down, like the world shut down for me. At the time I was teaching music to like pre-K kids, so I was like a music teacher at the time. So I was kind of safe, but it really hit me because that was kind of like a part-time type deal. All my money is coming from DJing.
Yeah.
So when that took a hit, I was only relying on pretty much like 20% of my income.
Wow.
So like I would get on live and I would like DJ and I would just put my Cash App thing up there. And man, you just go in and hopefully people see it and send you tips and man, but there was a couple of days where it was shut down and I would just get on live and just put my Cash App thing and raise money that way.
It's funny you say that. My brother would send me YouTube videos. I forget the guy's DJ's name, but man, it went hard. And I was like, I don't have the money to give you. And I feel bad because I was sitting there for like 10 minutes, like listening. And I was like, dang, I should probably give him something.
And see, I would always do it around like 12 o'clock when everybody's on their lunch break. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And so I would do like one time I did a segment. It was like mimosas and lunchtime, you know what I mean? So I was like drinking mimosa and everybody else is pretty much at home drinking mimosas too. Yeah. So everybody like kind of chimed in. Man, I think that day I probably raised like $200 something.
Wow.
Yeah. It was really cool. But the people that did contribute, those were my like for sure fans. Like I know like if I have an event, like those are the people that
show up. Yeah.
And going through that, you kind of see like, you're a real one. You're a real one. And so when I see them, I'll be like, hey man, don't worry about it. I'm gonna pay for your shot. Something like that.
It's funny because I was just walking around downtown yesterday, getting some videos for different content, and I saw you on a flyer right next to Yaga's, in between Yaga's and I forget that Italian restaurant.
Yeah. For sure.
Dang, I know it was Luigi's a while back. I don't know what it is now. But that's just funny. That's crazy.
So looking at like the last couple of years, what would you say is like your favorite thing now coming out of the pandemic?
Definitely I guess the even playing field that everybody got, because the pandemic evened everything out for everybody.
Wow.
Because back in those days, like, well, I would say back in those days, but before everybody had like these high clubs and that's how you were like ranked, you know, like, oh, well, you have this club and you have this club or you're doing this gig. And that all went away and we all had to go to streaming. And so it evened everybody out. So your hype, you were cool at this point, but now we have the same platform. Yeah. We're doing the same things. You're on this probably at the same time because, the peak times of Facebook or whatever. So you just built your fan base while you were there. If you didn't build your fan base during 2020, when you got out of it, like it was a no-go.
It was dead.
Wow.
Yeah. So I really like leaned into my Facebook friends and my families and my Instagram people, and I just interacted with them more. Like if you left me a comment, I was gonna write it back to you, and people like some people don't do that, and that kind of just like
that's follow up.
Man, if those little things, they will go a long way.
Yeah. Absolutely.
For sure.
Anybody right now that's killing it in the social media world, they'll tell you within the first 50K, they were responding to everybody.
Yeah, no, for sure.
To any Facebook, any YouTube, any Instagram, at this point TikTok, like they would comment on everything.
Yeah, TikTok's a big thing right now. Yeah, TikTok is I was not a TikTok believer. In 2019,
are you a TikToker now?
I'm a TikToker. I'm not a full TikToker. I'm just like a vlogger. I would think of it.
We just got into TikTok this week because my wife was really insistent on it.
Yeah, I'd been trying to, I'm not going to lie, I had been trying to convince Juan to do TikTok for Aveo Creative for going on maybe
since
6 or 7 months.
Maybe March or June.
Before.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, we'll say before.
Maybe
I believe
6 or 7
TikTok definitely works.
6 or 7 months. And I was like, Juan, we have to do it. We have to do it. And then it was like last Thursday, we recorded with someone and he was like, yeah, my friend went viral and her business blew up on TikTok. And I turned around and looked at Juan and I said, I own half of this company and I'm putting my foot down and we're starting TikTok. And literally we started on Friday night.
Last week,
Friday morning to today, and we already have like over 4,000 views.
That's amazing.
And we already have 38 followers and these are organic followers and people that we haven't met other than they're seeing our video. They live in our county. They're when they go to have, that's exciting for me. And so TikTok is definitely a key place.
If I tell you, I have a cousin in San Antonio and he literally just he wasn't doing too well. You know what I mean? And he was down on his luck. He would always get on TikTok and, I'm down on my luck or whatever. And so he just so happened to open up his own business. And he always wanted to cook. So he started cooking. And he already had a platform on TikTok. Wow. And so he just kind of capitalized on it. And now, he's telling me stories that people from Austin are driving all the way to San Antonio just for this guy's food. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it works I wouldn't call him the most social person, but in TikTok world, he is famous. Like I can't even get that. Like I can't even do that. And I'll hit him up. You know what I mean? And I feel like I've been doing this not more than him, but like I've been like making flyers, doing video, doing all this stuff. And now I'm calling him because he knows this algorithm so well. Yeah. So well.
It's just the time that we live in. You look at everybody who has been killing, like you said, making flyers, doing all the hustle, cold calling people, knocking on doors, all that hard work, which is not to diminish what TikTok work is, but this is like you physically driving somewhere, you're physically working, you're walking, you're spending money to get posters and flyers and all that stuff. You're spending all that money and time doing that. And now we live in a world where
people aren't looking for the flyers. They're looking
they're
for
on their phone. Yeah. And you have all the people that are blowing up on Instagram, on YouTube, on TikTok, and they do it and they come for their own house.
Exactly.
With AC.
Exactly. And you don't have to do nothing. You can go outside and literally just press record, walk in front of your camera, and then walk out. Yeah. That's literally you have to do. And then you can like put something like a whatever song and let the lyrics just pop up right there. And that thing will go viral.
Yeah.
It is very frustrating. We have, as you can see, you can see, the viewers cannot. I have some equipment and I would use this equipment to make videos. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be a hit. This is going to be good. Yeah. And then we get like 50 likes. Yeah. And then I see so-and-so on Instagram and they're like, making this video and they're like literally just in a shed scooping wood and they got 50K likes. And I'm like, man, my quality is way better than yours. Look, what's up with this?
But here's the thing. It is time. It's figuring out the niche, figuring out what has been trending, making like an analysis of what they are doing well, what's streaming well there, and then not recreating the wheel, but using those tools to create content that is going to go viral because you are using what's already proven to be good. Sure. And the thing about social media specifically is that with Facebook, Instagram, TikTok and LinkedIn, they all do very different things.
Definitely.
And those platforms have their own strategies, right? So like with Facebook, you're going to find a lot of success if you're going into the groups like, Talk Galveston like all of those groups that Mondays they do the business or like Instagram.
Fridays,
Fridays. Instagram is all about the stories and the reels, right?
Yeah.
And then TikTok is like making sure you're consistent and you're hitting your 3 to 9 videos a day, and like it's very different. 100%. And then like
everything you're saying is for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's when she starts talking. For anybody who's been watching the podcast, she starts talking a lot. That's because she knows her
She's
stuff.
She's so passionate about this, and I love it.
I know
because
marketing.
like the first 10-15 minutes of the video, maybe even longer, she'll stay kind of quiet. And I know where it's like towards the end of it, I told her it's like what was it, a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. I was like, babe, I need you to talk more in the beginning. She's like, you guys are always talking about like photography, gear. I don't know anything. And then towards the end of the podcast,
she already knows she's going
we start talking about stuff that matters more and viewers might like a lot more. And boom, she starts chit-chatting away. And I'm like, man, the girl knows what she knows, and she knows it well.
You do, man. And honestly, everything you're saying was 100. And I always tell people that. I stress people like, there's different audiences in everyone.
Oh, absolutely. YouTube is phenomenal. And one of the things people don't even realize is that when you get started, you need to go ahead and apply for those AdSense, because it takes 3 to 6 months for them to reply to you, to send you your information. Then you've got to confirm your bank account number so that when you finally do go viral and you finally
can actually
do start
make
making
some money off of it.
Yeah, it takes about 9 months, 6 to 9 months to get the paperwork correct so that you can make money. So what you want to do is when you start the YouTube channel, you start the process. Since we're talking about YouTube and all of the social media and that stuff, what platforms are you on? Where can people see your stuff?
For sure. Instagram, if you're trying to look at just my reels or whatever. Facebook, if you're trying to look at like my setup or anything like that. If you look at my TikTok, it's probably just a lot of my fun stuff that I do. But you can go on MixCloud, mixcloud.com. It's like SoundCloud, but it's for DJs. And you can actually just listen to all the DJs' mixes. So you don't have to necessarily listen to mine, but I am on there. I know a lot of people like go work out and stuff like that.
Yeah, I saw you had a workout one there.
Yeah, and so you can look at least list all my mixes on there.
That's awesome.
And but it's just a little platform for DJs to go under, because there's a lot of licensing.
And are all of your social media, all of your platforms,
DJ Standman 409
at DJ Standman 409.
For those that don't know, 409 represents Galveston.
For sure.
So
represent I-45 South.
Yes.
And that information will be delivered.
You've gone too far. Here's another question, because I like how you said that you had to like expand, like get not just put all your eggs in one basket. What got you into like going from like grinding at clubs to entering the wedding world, entering the corporate world and that stuff? Like what led you into that?
For sure, I ran into this guy. And he told me 8 streams of income for Make a Millionaire. 8 streams. So at the time, I was working at, I think, Sprint. So I was Sprint and I had DJ. Okay, that's 2 incomes. So I've always thought like, okay, this is just going to, and you just have to enterprise around what you're good at.
Yeah.
So like DJing, I would have like a photo booth. I would have, photographers, or I don't do photographers, but I can buy a camera and I can have people come under me. And, it doesn't mean you have to necessarily do all of it, but you have some kind of little money coming in.
Yeah.
And I believe when you start getting that, you start being more comfortable and you don't take those gigs that you didn't really want to do. You know what I mean? So the wedding outside at 100 degrees, I ain't gonna take that. Why? Because I have other streams that coming are helping me in. So that helps off with the creativity too, because you're not feeling so pressed. Yeah, like I have to do this. Like no. Because creativity and competition, they're opposites. Yeah, you know what I mean. You can't be creative and compete. you can try,
Yeah.
but you never know. It's probably not going to be as organic as it is when you're just creating something.
That's where I feel like other artists tend to call that person a sellout.
Yeah.
Because you're no longer about the art of it. Now
you're so into making the money. I have to be here. I have to take.
You're all about wanting to become mainstream and all that type of stuff. I mean, that's why you get all these rappers that grind out in their hood, getting it going, selling out CDs or giving away CDs in grocery store parking lots.
Yeah, and then their content
and then they go full on and mainstream, and all their original fans like, oh, you a sellout.
Yeah, it's just because I believe like that first year, it's the process of making it is a lot. You get that first album. It don't matter who it was, Lauryn Hill, like 50 Cent. Justin Timberlake. Justin Timberlake's first album was pretty good too. But I mean, it doesn't matter.
NSYNC still is really.
That's what I was talking about. The '98. Yeah, we're getting it. I think that was actually my second CD I ever owned.
We literally spent the other evening.
No strings. What is it?
No strings attached. So the other night, literally.
Yes, I know people.
The other night, we literally sat on the couch and watched like NSYNC.
We were going through the old stuff of watching like TRL Live, watching all that stuff
all
and things like that.
Yeah, no, for sure.
It's pretty
for like 2 hours.
I try to do that. I do that sometimes. Like I like watching old concerts for sure.
Yeah.
It's just the essence of it. You know what I mean? You weren't there. So you kind of have to see it.
Yes, like that we were just recently. I don't know what got into me where I was like, you know what? Let's go watch the P Diddy, the one with Sting at the MTV Music Awards. And I was like, let's just watch that. That's all I want to watch. And then we went down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, we went down a hole.
It's a good one though.
And that was just like,
one.
oh my God, I love that one. I think I've heard someone say you could just feel the pain in P. Diddy's dancing. And I was like, that's so true.
P. Diddy.
I don't know if I felt the pain.
What's his name now? Is it P. Diddy still?
I think his name's Love.
I don't know what he calls himself now.
I mean, he's still the
Sean
same
Combs,
guy. He's that guy.
Yeah, I think he would always be P. Diddy. Here's another question as we kind of go towards the end of this podcast episode is you said 8 streams of income. So what's the future of DJ Sandman? Like, what are you looking for in the future?
Well, I just started barber college, so get out and just start barbering here and there. Hopefully, maybe open up a barber shop, barber school. It'd be nice to have one in Galveston. I don't think they have one in Galveston right now. If they do, correct me, but I don't think they have one.
Write in the comments if they do, guys. I don't know.
If I also DJing wise, whatever comes, whatever big, because I could never tell you how big it's gonna be. Because there's been some times where I'm just like, yo, I'm doing this. Like I didn't know I was gonna do that. And so, but owning a hall for sure.
Wedding a venue.
Yeah. Wedding venue. Yeah, you already know, man.
We talked about this ourselves.
I think in the next 2 years, our plan is to own a wedding venue.
Yeah. I just can't. I mean, we're doing the wedding thing already, so I just can't believe the money that some people are dishing out for these venues, because these venues are. I've been to some.
Not to throw no shade out, people.
No shade at all.
Anybody who's watching this venue, we're not throwing any shades out, but we have. I mean, I know some off the top of my head that are like, oh, this is bad.
It's not bad. It's just because honestly, it's probably good for the pictures. If you're paying a good little money for your venue, it's because they have they have
curb appeal.
Yes,
that
anything they have like the wood wheel on the barn. They have something that's like, I want that.
I think about like Springs events. They're all over Houston, South Texas areas. They all look the same.
Yeah. For sure.
That barn feel, that country feel, very Texas.
And everybody wants
it. And they love it. And they love it.
It's very clean
and they
look.
love it.
Like somebody called it like a vintage farm or I
thought it was more like a modern
farm.
Yeah, it's a modern farm for sure.
That's what it is. And but yeah, I would love to open up a hall. That would be cool because I think it could be done better. Yeah. And that's how I started DJing.
And you know what I think is so cool is that everyone who works in the wedding industry, they always go, man, I feel like I could make a better venue than that.
For sure.
Right? For some of the places.
Yeah, some places I don't see it. I don't see it. Like, I'm just like, man, you paid all this money and they gave you like a half of a kitchen. I'm not gonna say the name, but I've done a venue where the AC.
You can tell us after.
They didn't even work. The AC didn't work, and they put me next to the blower that blows the AC to the people.
Oh, damn.
So I'm getting all the hot air, and this is like, bro, I'm the first person that gets there, and I'm the last person.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And
I meant to disagree with you, man. Photographers and videographers. just letting you guys know.
I've been. You've been to those kind of venues, and you ask the people how much they paid. You know, and you're like, man, how much you pay for this? and they'll be like, and they'll tell you, and you always see that pain in their heart, and you're just like, man, I would hate to do this to somebody. Even like I'm sure photographers, y'all run into stuff that's like, oh, how much you pay for that photography? No, man, I gotta get 100 less, and you would have got way more. Yeah. You know,
one of the things that I'm reading this book right now. If I can't remember the title right now.
I love books.
But one of the books that I'm reading right now, I'll give you the title before we leave. Is as a business owner, you have to look at ways to add value to your clients.
For sure.
And that's one of the things that I think is especially for us, when we think about our business, we think about the future of us, is how do we add value to our people? And that's what they were talking about. Like, a lot of people are looking for ways to how can they increase their value. Mm-hmm. But he's like, good businesses look at it, how can I add value?
Yes,
and they start talking about Amazon and Google and all these companies. And right off the bat, you can say these names, and off the bat, you can like, oh yeah, they did add value.
They did. Yeah.
I mean, Google gives you 15 terabytes, not terabytes, 15 gigs for free for storage. That's.
And Home Dude from Amazon, one of the things that when he started Amazon, the thing that he said is, I wanted to make it as easy as possible for people to purchase and have things sent to them, because that's where we were going. And he says, I just wanted my customers to have the easiest time when they shop.
Yeah,
he did.
And he did.
He did.
And now he's a millionaire.
Honestly, man, he came in clutch. Man. Yeah. 2020, boy, he came in clutch.
He did come in clutch.
He came in clutch, and
same day shipping, 2 day shipping. That was perfect.
Christmas time,
HEB.
you don't got to go nowhere for Christmas.
I mean, now you got all these grocery stores doing deliveries,
like same day
pickup and things like that. Like, I think it's just for wedding videos or wedding vendors in general, or any vendors in any way. You have to look at ways of how do we add value back. Yeah. And so like you were saying earlier, like, I listen to the playlist all day before I get to a wedding, before I get to a place. Mm-hmm. Like, you're getting saturated with that type of music they want, that genre they want. Yeah. And so, like, you're adding value. So when you start realizing what you want to play, you know the right mood for that moment. So, like, I think it's just having that value to add back to your clients is huge. And that's just something that I'm trying to think of for Aveo, is how can I add value back to our people? How do I add value back? And that's one of the reasons why we've been loving the podcast, because this is the way we can help business owners like yourself and other people that have been on the cast.
And I think here shortly, we're going to be having on one of our previous brides to talk about her experience, so that she can give information to other brides who are about to go through this wonderful journey, but also stressful.
Erica, the wedding we shot.
Okay, Erica, yeah, for sure. I love it.
Yeah, so cool. And I think we're even redoing our website to make it easy and accessible for our customers to book things for themselves, like there and there. They know the cost, they know everything. So I know that we're trying to adjust to our clients, and I think that that's important for any business owner who's watching here today, or future business owner. Like, remember, the key to a successful business is making sure that our clients, we're catering to our clients.
And give value, like, put the value into it.
Yeah.
Like, if you're gonna do something, don't half step it, man.
Yeah.
Like, when I treat every wedding like it's a Super Bowl. Every wedding is a Super Bowl to me, because like, if I mess up, oh boy, everybody, the grandma's gonna talk about it. Everybody's gonna talk about it, and you have no room to mess up at all. And so for sure, just make sure the value with bringing value is the value that comes behind that, and what you're putting into it. And so I mean, I call myself Mr. Get Your Money's Worth. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna bring my value. You know what I mean? And that's why I believe I'm good at what I do.
I'm going to start saying that. I'm Mrs. Get Your Money's Worth.
Yeah, get it work. Yeah. Because they're like, man, that means you're going to put in you're going to put in that effort because you know that I put in effort.
Yeah.
And I mean, weddings, that's not an easy ticket.
No, it's not.
It's not. It's not an easy ticket.
It's a $1 billion industry.
It is.
It is hard to crack that nugget for sure. And so I just want to thank you, Mark, for being on the podcast.
Sure,
I think
man.
this is
thank
great.
y'all for having me.
I think the conversation before we started, the conversation after we started has been amazing. And so I just want to look at all the viewers.
For sure.
Go follow him. Links down below. Give him a follow. Give him a like, and all the ways that he has available. Go work out to his workout playlist as well. Maybe that can help you out to lose the extra 5 pounds, 10 pounds. Or for me, 50 pounds. But I just want to thank you guys so much. Make sure to hit that like, subscribe. Thank you to all the people that follow us. And we want to continue adding value back to you guys. So that's one of the reasons we do this. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Peace out.
All right. All right, man.